All right, welcome back to another Google Ads Mastermind podcast and YouTube video. If you're in podcast, welcome. I'll be kind of explain what I'm going to go over here, as well as on YouTube, kind of show you what I'm going to go over. So in this video, I'm actually very excited to share with you a new strategy that I've been testing over the last month or 2 months with a couple of different accounts and campaigns, and very excited to kind of share with you what I've learned, as well as how you can use this for your campaigns across e-commerce, lead gen, and SaaS. E-commerce lead gen, I've seen great results, and this is actually an e-commerce client. And SaaS, I'm actually testing this again on other clients, so hopefully I can report back in another month or two with the results there. But definitely try it out yourself, and very excited to kind of dive into this. So, like I said in the precursor, if you're listening to the podcast, we're going to talk about how to leverage search campaigns for more profit and kind of get away from just the one standard, keyword and relevance, kind of the basic campaign everyone does, right? Everyone knows what a search campaign is. That's the standard of Google Ads. Everyone thinks of that when we say Google Ads, not YouTube, not display, not shopping. It's always search. So for this client, this e-commerce client, we've actually had trouble in the past making sure they can stay good on GMC. We were suspended a couple of times. We got free from it every time, and then a couple of weeks later, get suspended again for the same issue, and we're just sick of dealing with it. So we said this month, F it, we'll just go all the way to kind of search and Google Ads only in there, no shopping, nothing like that. And if you know my strategy, shopping is a huge part of e-commerce for all my clients. I rely on it very heavily. It's the best way to do it for your e-commerce client. Have a standard shopping campaign and then migrate to a smart shopping campaign. And again, in the future, I will be discussing how to do that with smart shopping campaigns. However, with this strategy, since we can only do search campaigns, I had to get a little bit more creative and not rely solely on either broad match, phrase match, or exact match, and just call it a day, leave it there. DSA in this situation didn't make sense just because this website is very small. It's only, I think, 2 or 3 SKUs overall, and it just didn't make sense for that. However, DSA, I'm a big fan about that. I will be releasing more content about how to do dynamic search ads, both campaign-wise and ad group-wise. They're a really good tool. I think for a lot of people could use them if your content is up to date, as well as if your headlines are good. If you keep, if you have new products coming in out of stock all the time, definitely a way to do it. And I'll be talking about that later this week probably. However, for this one, we're going to be talking about how to utilize the marketing funnel for new campaigns in search. I definitely think this works the best in e-commerce. It's just because you have more commercial intent keywords, as well as kind of questions and information keywords. And a lot of time people don't go for the top of the funnel stuff, right? It doesn't convert as well. It doesn't. It's cheaper, but it doesn't convert. There's less competitors and stuff like that. But again, everyone wants converters right now and stuff like that. And this one, if you're actually seeing this account, we started for search only back in November, I believe the 3rd of November. First 2 weeks, the client wasn't that happy. Our ROAS is quite low. I think we're like 50 to 80% ROAS in the 2 main campaigns. Not good. However, you got to give it time. That's the one thing I've seen in the last couple of months now is you need to give Google Ads time to kind of learn the bidding model, learn who you're targeting, what is your site, can Google identify who it is for, how the content is overall structured, stuff like that. It takes time. It's not like Facebook where it's just a fast, win, stuff like that. However, with Google, the longer your campaign's active, the more you refine it and try to optimize it, the better it will be, the longer it will last. That's the beauty about Google Ads, and that's why I love it. Is once you get to kind of master that campaign, you can keep optimizing it, but it's going to do it by itself, right? That's the whole point of conversions, and the machine learning is to optimize toward those conversions. So now the last 2 weeks, so the beginning of November, quite bad. However, the last week and a half to 2 weeks, our ROAS has actually hit 250 to 300% each of those campaigns. It's a mix of both learning as well as making sure the searches are relevant. Now, getting to the actual strategy of the account and what I tried was, instead of just doing broad match keywords, which I'm a big fan of personally since last November, when Google updated their broad match kind of matching, as well as understanding the human language. It's worked really well with broad match and then TCPA or TROAS bidding, even maximize conversion value at some points, but you always want to go to a TCPA model. That's what I've learned the best. I wanted to see, could we utilize the marketing funnel in terms of intent across 2 different campaigns, possibly 3 in the future. But I wanted to go off very top of the, more question searches with broad match, and then more bottom of the funnel, blank blank X, blank blank that X, more, they already know what the solution is. Now they're trying to find it kind of searches. And that's where I split it up. So I had an awareness campaign, which is the very top one here, if you look in the video, and then an intent campaign. Now, the intent is all split up from phrase match and exact match keywords. I prefer phrase match for the last couple months, just performed better in my eyes. However, exact match does sell for place if there's enough search volume overall and it's not too long tail of a keyword. Now the intent, again, it's gonna be more expensive because you're more bottom of the funnel, more competitors bidding on the same kind of keywords. Check your auction insights to make sure you're not going against too many different competitors. You're not too clouded. You're going after the same kind of queries overall, stuff like that. And then awareness is where it's really started to shine in the last week and a half, especially. This client didn't run any Black Friday actually at all. They didn't want to push anything for that, which was special in that case. But we just wanted to run with it and see how it performed. And actually the awareness campaign, aka bra match keywords, targeting top of the funnel traffic, more question queries and how to do this, does this affect that, stuff like that, where they don't really know the solution yet, has performed way better than the intent-based campaign. Now, there is some crossover in terms of attribution, so make sure you understand what model you have and are looking at the attribution report, looking at assisting campaigns, assisting keywords, and know, hey, what is my customer's sales cycle? Do they go from, is it a 1-click, 1-buy, or is it a 2+ clicks, 2+ days, cross device, all that good stuff that maybe they're looking at other competitors, comparing your products, or looking at reviews, or, they just don't want to buy it on a phone. They got to go home and buy it on their computer, right? A lot of different stuff to look at and overall think about when you look at kind of keywords and overall attribution of each campaign. That's why it's very important to kind of look at overall account wide, what's your ROAS, how's everything looking there, but also campaign by campaign and compare and break it down. So the strategy I would really recommend you trying is taking, say, $100 a day. And at first, it was split even, 50-50. And we did very, very broad kind of keywords talking about the problem, how to fix it, solutions for this, stuff like that, all bra match based. And then we let it run. And the same thing for intent, but more so actual searches that would say they're looking for the product or looking for a competitor's product, stuff like that. And give it a try. I definitely think you'll be surprised with the results. Just give it, I would say, at least 2 to 3 weeks to learn, especially bra match. I know that takes a lot of time, and make sure all the keywords you're targeting revolves around the same solution. Google did come out with and update their overall help system and policy, and saying that other keywords does affect how Google responds to your targeting, and it learns off of other keywords you're targeting, as well as the landing pages and your site. It does read that, so make sure your site is updated very well, has good headlines, stuff like that. That will come into play more. We're talking about DSA in the future, but for right now, even using bra match keywords, Google does rely on going through your website, making kind of understanding who you're targeting, what your product is for, how it works, stuff like that. So make sure you do that very well, and just give bra match some time to learn. Don't be too harsh in terms of negatives on it. I think that's the main mistake. In your intent-based campaign, right, lower funnel stuff, phrase match and exact match keywords, be harsh. Exclude stuff that is not relevant, that is either just a mix or a miss by Google, or somehow it got through. Use negative keyword lists. Make sure you're on top of that. Broad match, I'd be a little bit more reserved about that. In the past, I have done a lot of negatives and try to see which way to kind of shape it. But I've seen also in the past, once I kind of added too many negatives, it kind of it reserved Google's ability to kind of go out and find good quality people that just don't know what to actually look for, because it's a broad match campaign or keyword match type. It's going to be very, very loose. You're going to have a lot of irrelevancy, but don't be too harsh. If it's very, very irrelevant, and hey, that doesn't make sense at all, there's no way, if say your product is a house and it's something about a car, that makes sense, right? Exclude it. But you really want to make sure you're not too tight on your negatives there. Let it run. Don't be too much there, and just allow Google to learn, right? Because it's going to learn by itself with that, AI, and it's going to optimize for conversions. If you're not getting conversions, it's not going to keep going after those kind of keywords and search terms overall. So that's kind of the lesson today. Quick one. Try out that kind of strategy again. If you didn't listen to it or forgot, 2 things. 1, make sure you have 2 different campaigns, even 3 possibly, and targeting different stages of the funnel. Target more high kind of without knowing what your product is, queries in a broad match sense, and then very low funnel. They know what they're searching for. They know competitors of yours. They're aware. They want what you're offering. Get those in phrase match or exact match, test it, and see which one performs best. So that's pretty much it. Give us some time to learn. And I'm actually really interested if it works for you as well. Let me know in the comments if it does, or it did. And I'll be back next time, probably talking about DSA campaigns. So thank you, and have a good day.